All right, listen.
Yeah.
The Titanic is 3 hours and 14 minutes. Any movie that is over 3 hours is 4 hours. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules. If it's 2:59, it's 3 hours. If it's 3 hours and 5 minutes, it's a 4-hour movie.
It's a 4-hour movie.
5, 6, 7, 8.
There's no business like show business.
Mamma mia, here I go again. My
Of the music
I don't know why this is Debbie Reynolds' favorite movie of hers.
It is?
Yeah.
This?
That's what I said!
In this economy? Absolutely
In
not.
this Donde esa economía? Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Maybe it was just really, really fun to film.
That's what I'm thinking. It might have been she had a good experience filming it, and because it was essentially clowning for 2 hours. And if that's something that brought her a lot of joy, then great. I can see her having a blast filming it if that's something she likes.
Yeah. But, as an audience member, it was fine.
Hello, welcome back to 5, 6, 7, 8, the Movie Musical Podcast. The podcast where we review and recap movie musicals, and listen, they can't all be winners. And this episode, we are doing the 1964 American comedy musical western, The Unsinkable Molly Brown, starring Charles Waters, Debbie Reynolds, and the Colorado River. And the Titanic.
Pretty much.
Very
the
briefly.
Titanic, with a brief cameo by the Titanic.
It's like if I'm looking at the marquee, it's like Debbie Reynolds, Charles Waters, and the Titanic. Like,
and the Titanic with the Colorado River.
Oh, who got top billing in this? I forget that the Titanic was a British passenger liner.
Yes.
I always think it's American because it was on its way to America.
Nah.
Shout out to Charlie, who knows a lot about shipwrecks. Charlie's gonna be very upset that I didn't know that the Titanic was.
We shout out Charlie
British.
a lot.
We do,
on this
and you know what?
podcast.
Charlie's an avid listener.
Yeah, we love that.
Charlie's a good fan. Did you know anything about this movie going in? Did
Absolutely
you know anything about
not.
the plot?
I mean, I know.
I'd heard of the name.
I know the character. Obviously, like the historical figure of like Unsinkable Molly Brown. Because I have seen the Titanic, and Anna has notoriously not seen the Titanic.
The Titanic movie?
Yeah, absolutely. Played by Kathy Bates.
Cool.
Yeah,
Still haven't
she's
seen
rad.
the Titanic. I could watch this movie twice and then have seen the Titanic.
Titanic is not 4 hours long.
You can't tell me. I refuse to hear that. No, the Titanic is a long-ass movie.
Yeah, that is true. Anyway, so I know about the character, but I didn't know, like, sort of her backstory. I just knew her in reference to the sinking of the Titanic. It is so funny that our favorite reference is the Titanic has sunk, and now we finally have a Titanic.
Oh my god, I hadn't thought about that. Beep, 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 beep. Breaking news, the Titanic has sunk. All right, listen.
Yeah, pretty much.
The Titanic is 3 hours and 14 minutes. Any movie that is over 3 hours is 4 hours. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules. If it's 2:59, it's 3 hours. If it's 3 hours and 5 minutes, it's a 4-hour movie.
It's a 4-hour movie. Incredible. Yeah, so I know about the historical, like, figure that is Margaret Brown.
I know jack shit.
But I didn't know anything about her backstory, and this movie is barely accurate to her backstory, so that's fine.
This movie is all backstory. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Pretty much.
I understand. And we'll get to this.
Well, it's funny because you...
What?
Yeah, sorry.
What?
Well, no, you had mentioned Mame. You had texted me about Mame, and then I was like, "Oh, is this movie like Mame?" And then I was watching it, and I was like, "Oh, it kind of is. It's just like this person's life, and they exist, and they're doing things."
Honestly, I don't even remember why I was thinking. I texted Grace earlier this week, being like, "I just remembered how much we both hated Mame." Yeah, I see the similarities now. I hadn't clocked it until you said it.
Yeah.
I guess my thing is, she became known as the Unsinkable Molly Brown. However, this film is not about how she became known as the Unsinkable Molly Brown. It is about the entire rest of her life that leads up to her getting that title, and then the film ends.
Yeah.
So
and then she gets the title, and then
and the film ends.
So it's like how she...
I guess, like, if you're gonna... I thought it would have made more sense if the film had been, like, more about diving into the heroism that specifically earned her this title, versus... I understand that, like, her life led her to be that heroic, but if you're gonna call the movie Unsinkable Molly Brown, I guess I want to know about the act that earned the title and not the lifetime before. You know what I mean?
I do. I'm also going to talk about, like, instead of doing a deep dive into an actor today, I'm actually going to do a deep dive into the figure of Margaret Brown. No, Margaret Brown, and, like, everything that she did. Can you imagine? All right, guys, I'm going to go through, instead of doing Unsinkable Molly Brown, we're going to do shot-by-shot analysis of the Titanic.
This is a 5-hour podcast now.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should talk about this movie.
This film does not start at the Titanic. It starts in Colorado.
In the big Moses energy of, like, pushing a baby down the river, we get the Colorado of and wooden baby basket with a baby.
It's a cradle.
It's a cradle pushed around, and some truly atrocious baby noise ASMR. I hated every
That was an
moment
adult,
of it.
right? That had to be an adult person doing that.
It had to have been an adult person going, and I'm not even gonna, I was
awful.
about to start making noises, and I did not want it. Like, it started to come out of my mouth, and I hated it.
It's also
every
so
second of it.
clearly a mannequin baby in the wide shots.
Yeah, exactly. And then in the close-ups, it's very obviously like a back screen.
Yeah. We get a lot of those. Anyway,
this baby survives.
Somehow survives, going down the river Moses style. And I just want to know who in the real story and also in this film, who put their baby in this river?
That was my question, because at first I thought, oh, maybe something happened. And then, because she's like, oh, with a family. And then later on it's revealed, oh, this isn't my real dad. This is the guy that found me and raised me. And I was like, who the fuck put their baby in a river?
I don't know. Ask Moses.
Yeah, where's the pharaoh in the Colorado mountains? Anyway.
Is John Brown the pharaoh?
Okay,
All
this
right.
is a wild reading of this movie
if Molly
in comparison
Brown
to the
is
Moses myth. I fucking love it.
Then
It's Moses.
John Brown. What's the pharaoh's name?
Is the pharaoh?
Ramses.
Is Ramses?
And then her aunt is Gladys's mom and her father, the like two bumbling like sir. We're talking about the animated one, right? Like the two bumbling. Yeah. Okay, the Timon and Pumbaa of this film.
Obviously. Yeah, the Timon and Pumbaa of this film, and then is.
I mean, listen, they both go up. They both go abroad.
The fucking. They both go. This is a wild reading of this movie, and I
we
love
are
it.
2 minutes into this movie, and we've gone off the rails. Okay, we gotta. Okay.
Okay. Title sequence: rescued from the Colorado River, and we see someone fishing, and
surprise, surprise, we've jumped ahead an indeterminate amount of years. It could have been 15. It could have been 25. I could not tell you. All I know is the baby is now grown up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get to a gripe in a second, is a grown-up person, a girl who lives in the frontiers of Colorado with her father and then another family that has all boys. So she is a girl amongst boys. She has been raised like a ruffian. She has our first song
big tomboy energy.
That's called I Ain't Down Yet, where she literally just wrestles the other boys and beats the shit out of them and they beat the shit out of her. Okay. First gripe. They put Debbie Reynolds in the ugliest motherfucking wig for this beginning sequence. To make her seem young, you could not pay me to tell you how old she is supposed to be in these scenes.
No idea.
And if she's supposed to be 13, 14,
nope.
or like 18, cast a different actor. It was so distracting.
It was wild. I had no idea. And
cast a younger version of her.
The movement from this scene where where these three boys and her are like wrestling, and she like refuses to call uncle, a whole deal. The movement from that into the song was so bad. Oh, I got you right while you were drinking. Sorry.
It's bad.
It
was
was
so cheesy.
It was, as someone who went to a class called Scene into Song, literally.
Grace, do you have a BFA?
Shocking. I was just like, holy shit. This is like an example of what not to do.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Like, and the song itself is fine. It's a big I Want song. It has big energy of My Fair Lady, Wouldn't It Be Loverly?
Yeah.
Of just her naming a bunch of things that she wants, which is like a red silk dress, a big brass bed. It's the same energy. But the movement into the song was so distractingly bad that I was like, I kind of expected better from Debbie Reynolds.
Here's this. I was equally on the same page, because this is truly our introduction to this character, to this film, and whatever like given circumstances we have established.
Yeah.
The characters in this homestead are larger than life. Like the physicality, the acting, the style of singing is so over the top characterized that it did take me a second to like wrap my head around like, okay, this is what we're doing. And then I could watch it for what it was. But that was truly, we had no like, it was just like 0 to 60 with no warning. And again, it's her and these like three boys who are probably age appropriate. They look like late teens, early 20s, and I couldn't figure out whether they were picking on her or they were roughhousing like siblings. It was just really, really very violent.
Yeah, it was very violent, but I got the sibling vibe. I got the vibe of just like we tease, we pick on Molly,
too rough
and
for
she
that.
gives
But
as
also,
good
you
as
know
we
what?
give.
I'm an only child.
I did not grow up with siblings.
I don't know what's normal.
So Molly says all of this stuff about how she doesn't like the word down, she only likes the word up, and she's gonna find a rich man to marry so that she can have all of these things, and like list them off. And that night her dad and the dad's friend, who's the father of the three boys, the other homesteader, they're chatting about like who can we marry Molly off to, like someone who
like they're talking about
her
like she's not even there,
and she's like in the room actively, and they're like, oh well, you have 3 sons, and they're like, Molly, no,
hard pass. And the boys actively laugh at her.
Yeah, and that night she decides to leave, to go into a town, eventually aiming for Denver.
Yeah, that's as like far as her universe expands. Her dad catches her like packing her bag to leave, and he asks her like, what are you doing? And she says like, where I'm super grateful that you saved me from that river when I was a baby, but I got bigger things in my future. If I stay here, you're just born, you live, you die. Her adoptive father, very, very okay with that. He gives her advice, and he's like, your future husband needs to be an Irish Catholic.
Well, and also he's like, hey, listen, if a guy offers you a roof over your head, make sure he's also offering you marriage. Kind of being like, don't let yourself get taken by someone who's going to take advantage of you.
Cut to a different wilderness in Colorado.
The woods.
With big, oh, what a beautiful morning energy. We meet Ramses. We meet John J. Brown, who is the only actor.
This week we are doing DreamWorks Prince of Egypt. Sorry.
This actor is the only one that came over from the Broadway production. He sings the song Colorado My Home and like fucks around with the echoes of the canyon that he's overlooking. Again, very big, oh what a beautiful morning, and Oklahoma energy.
Was too epic for an opening song for this character. It felt like an Act 1 finale. Like the actual orchestration felt like an Act 1 finale.
I see, you're talking orchestrations.
Yeah. It was just like big brass finales, and then he continued on, and I was like,
he also did the deepest like lunges. Well,
I called it the gym teacher pose. It's like whenever your gym teacher hikes up his leg a little bit too high to like lean forward and talk to people.
Stretch out those hip flexors. woods.
Oh yeah, it was a big gym teacher pose. Yeah.
And I just, we don't get his name. He's like, this is a man that loves the woods.
Pretty much.
I'm sorry, I just cracked myself up. All right.
Cut to Molly cleaning herself in the river.
Bathing in a river, yeah.
And she gets out and gets dressed, and then what's-his-face is just lying on the ground watching her.
Reclining her. He's been there the
whole
time.
Fucking time. It's so, and she's like, what the fuck? And he was like, this is my land, so you're trespassing. They end up chatting a little bit. She says that she's on her way to Leadville, and he's like, well, that's like 10 miles away. So, when's the last time you ate? Do you want a place to sleep tonight? And she was like, I'm not interested in that. And he's like, that's not what I was asking. But if you're hungry, I have stew, and if you want to sleep outside to be safe, that's totally up to you.
Yeah.
So she goes back because she's hungry.
And then he introduces himself. She takes him up on his offer. He introduces himself. His name is John J. Brown.
Yeah.
He's got himself a nice cabin in the woods. Yeah. And again, this is a man that loves the woods.
He's a woodsy
boy. He serves
boy.
her food.
And
he asks her what
guy.
she's gonna do in Leadville. And she goes, I want to learn to read and write. And she's been carrying some postcards in her sack, and she doesn't know how to read, so she takes out the postcards. And she asks him, what do these postcards say? And the first one says, best regards from
Katie
Katie Henry, something like
yeah.
And he can kind of read okay, and so he tells her what they are, and one of them's from Pennsylvania Avenue, which is where the socialites of Denver live. They're Fifth Avenue, and she talks about how that's where she wants to end up. She's going to marry a millionaire, and she's going to live on Pennsylvania Avenue.
So he serves her stew, and she starts trying to eat through it really fast because she has a long way to go. And he's like, oh, there's no need to rush. It's only just about 10 minutes away over the hill. And she's like, you fucking lied to me and said it was 10 miles away. You're a goddamn liar. And she runs away, leaving her bag of stuff there.
She goes fucking feral.
She goes feral a lot.
That's just, and again, I can't stress it enough because we're going to talk like it's normal behavior. The reactions are so heightened from her. And I don't know if we're gonna get any direct quotes, but I'm realizing saying oh, she catches him alive, she confronts him, and she storms off. No, she fucking she wild animal screams at him, and like a caged animal essentially.
Yes, very much so.
And she takes off without her bag. Yeah, she walks through Leadville.
Yeah, she gets to Leadville, and so we get a little where there's a bartender, or a barkeep, whatever, old saloon vibes, who's brushing out dust, and he's like, oh, my help has no longer helping because the place across the way has 2 singing dancing girls, and I don't have anyone to help me with my saloon.
And he has no customers.
Yeah, and he says that right as Molly is walking. She was like, I can help. And so he ends up hiring her because she keeps
she just
lying.
lies. He's like, can you sing? And she was like, yeah. He's like, can you play piano? And she was
Absolutely.
like, 100%. She faints from hunger.
Piano? And she's like, 100% I can play piano.
We do see her later so she's hired despite passing out from hunger.
Yeah.
Work at and he doesn't even offer, I don't think he can pay her, but she's just like, it's a roof over my head and food in my stomach.
But at least housing and food. Yeah.
Later that night, we see her teaching herself how to play piano because she knows one song, and it's a song called Belly Up to the Bar Boys that we actually first heard when she was introduced because it's something that the homesteaders were singing when they were heading back to their homestead. So so she figures out whatever not even chord progressions, but the one note, and she's
plunking things out.
Yeah.
And then cut to her being a piano prodigy.
No, I'm sorry. She's not. I thought she was a piano prodigy. She has one chord, and then she is playing a single other note, and she's just going this. Just like a marionette.
Monkey energy.
Yeah.
Woo!
She's not she's got rhythm, and she's got 6 notes.
And she found a chord.
Congratulations, you found a chord. And she sings Belly Up to the Bar Boys, and she gets the whole saloon singing.
With some wild energy.
She can't, and again, it's never explicitly explained. I guess it's just something we're supposed to pick up through context, but she's clearly lived a very sheltered life out on the range. She's probably never, she doesn't really know, and she definitely didn't, socialize with other people growing up. She doesn't know how to dance. So it's all just straight limbs and trying to pick up what other people are doing and kicks.
And like jumping in a circle.
Yeah, it's very rough and tumble. Just then, 3 prostitutes walk into the bar.
Hell yes. I wrote 3 ladies of the night enter.
3 women around town. And Molly is shocked by the fact that she walks like a man because she's never known anything else. So she sees the way these prostitutes are swaying their hips and walking kind of in a crisscross, and she's tries to mimic their walks and is terrible at it, and the crowd mocks her. And then the crowd dances, and we get a dance battle of prostitutes. It's amazing.
It's wild. There is dance battle of prostitutes was not on my bingo card for this movie, but here we are. So the song ends in a big musical theater facing the camera, heavy breathing, which I love. I love
like
every time
that
it happens.
In this dance battle, we don't see Molly become good at dancing. She's not instantly good. She just not tries. But cut to end of the number, exactly as you said, hold in place, breathing, high shoulders up and down, and Molly sees Johnny Brown open the saloon door, hold up her bag of belongings, and then go back around the corner like a fucking creep. And she follows him. He's being super weird and cagey.
Yeah, 100%.
But she takes her belongings. And he's like, well, you got a job now. He like, sorry, you know what it reminds me of? Can't believe what to think of this. Okay, so you know how in Grease, when Danny is first like super excited to see Sandy, and then he like plays it off cool because he's in front of the other greasers.
Plays it off cool. He's like, oh my god,
that's
Sandy!
Cool.
Oh, girl.
If you want, like, that is that exact same
Don't
energy.
Make me laugh
for no fucking reason other than I don't. I just said like he like Johnny Brown. I saw her like talking to other people. Whatever. She asked him if he'll teach her to read, and he says yes. So
yes, and then we get a montage
and learn to write
of her learning to read, and she learns pretty quickly. She is smart. Yeah,
and she learns to write as well.
Learner.
Cut to the two of them again. She's of indeterminate age. This man is easily late 20s, the early 30s. I don't actually. Yeah. You can tell me how old they were based in the real story, and that'll tell me how old she's supposed to be. I could not tell you.
Yeah, hold on. When did they get married? So she's born in 1867.
Okay, that makes sense.
She moved to Leadville at 18. And then they got married in 80s, and he was born 54. So he is a good
that tracks.
13 years older than her. And they got married in 86.
Yeah.
So she was 19 when they got married. And he was
that tracks.
Like 32. I got that vibe from this whole thing. Anyway. So they are laying in the grass together.
And he says, well, now you know how to learn to read and write. You'll probably be leaving soon. She goes, yeah, I got big things ahead of me. And he asks, like, well, what would be enough for you to, like, when are you going to be happy? And she's like lists off all the things, and she says she needs to find herself a millionaire or like a miner with a rich claim of earth. And he's like, well, I got a claim that's definitely worth a fuck ton of money, but I got no need for money. What I need is a woman. She goes, cool, get yourself one. Like,
yeah. She's like, good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, and he does say that he has a silver mine claim, whatever, that someone is looking to buy from him, so that's set up for later. And he does ask her, hey, like, you're looking for like money, do you think you could ever settle for happiness? And she's like, nah.
Hard pass.
And then he starts to sing the song I'll Never Say No, which is like, whatever you want, I will say
I'll never say no to you.
I'm here to provide to you. And so whatever it is that you ask for, I'm going to do that.
And she does not
like,
know what to do with these romantic advances.
Nope. She's like, I want a house with a window and a bed with a brass bed and a red silk dress and teacups, and
I
like
want to
she's
go
just like
see
thinking
Denver,
of random things.
And hey, I want you to go jump in that lake. And so he runs, and she's like, wait, no, I was fucking joking. And then this man, okay, I'll cut this if I have to for time, but this man, did you think it was wild energy that when in the wide shot when he's in the middle of the field, he was singing and he was just like throwing his chest back.
Yes, just like wide stance, chest
Like,
up, arms
just like
back,
nothing,
insane.
and he once is fine, but that was just like how he was
Like
singing.
baby bird energy of just like straight throat to the sky, like
just singing his hearts out. Anyway, she gets very overwhelmed. She says him,
Yeah. I hate the bow in her hair right now. It makes her
Yeah.
look so young.
because they were
and
trying
it's
to
gross.
age Debbie
Anyway,
Reynolds in reverse. She says, "Stay away from me. I do have feelings for you, but
Yeah.
stay away from me." And she runs off, feeling very conflicted. And Johnny eats grass.
And then we have a construction montage of him continuing to sing this song.
Yeah,
and
he's building what
a
she
house
wants.
for her.
And he rides into town to pick her up.
And
he's
then
like,
he
"We're gonna
comes-
go.
Yep.
I don't know. Look at something else."
See
And he
something
takes her
I've
to the
been
cabin.
working on.
She's like, "You're not tricking me." But surprise, he's like made this huge addition to the cabin. He's done up the entire space for her. He's even built a spare room
Yeah.
for her father to live with them. He got her a big
Yeah.
brass bed. Yeah, and she says, "No one's ever done anything special for me." They embrace, and then
Gaston appears. So then we get big Gaston energy of him being like, well, we're getting married now.
he's like, "Oh, good,
not
you like
asking
it?"
her, telling her.
Does not ask her. He's like, "Oh, good, you
And
like
she's
it?
like,
Great, we're gonna get married
"What?"
right now before you change your mind."
And he goes out the door, opens it, ushers in a bunch of people and a band, can't find a ring, so grabs like the paper cigar sleeve off and like
Yeah.
takes that as a ring. And then
It's like a flash
rushes through
mob,
this-
but it is a flash
a
wedding.
flash mob of a wedding.
Yeah.
God damn it, that's literally my worst nightmare. And so they get married.
Yeah,
Insane.
insane. Cut to later, the
So-
entire town leaves their cabin. Everyone's drunk and happy, and Molly inside
And she
is
is
distraught.
despondent.
Yeah, she-
like truly like a paper ring, no wedding dress, the groom is drunk. What have I done? What have I gone and
Yeah,
done?
I've made the mistake that my father warned me about. I've married a drunken, good-for-nothing minor. I've been bamboozled. And Grace and I love the word bamboozled. She says bamboozled,
bamboozled.
in this. I want to make sure.
It was great.
Then he cries as well and runs away.
Yeah, they both have the same, they match each other's energies in wildly unhealthy responses to confrontation. And so she starts saying, this was a mistake, this is horrible. He's drunk and hears like his new wife saying this about this, and he bursts into tears and runs out. And I thought that he's just snuck back later that night. Surprise,
3
motherfucker.
days
He's been gone for 3 days. Insane. So he shows up and wakes her up, and she's like, oh my god, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. She's like, good, where the fuck have you been? And has a whole angry shouting match at him. Turns out this fucker went and found that dude that was looking to buy his stake in the silver mine, and he brought home $300,000
And he just dumps it on the bed.
Insane.
And he's like, now I can get you a gold wedding ring.
Yeah, and he says, I'll get you a gold wedding ring, a red silk dress, and a go to hell hat. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I want all 3 of those things. Give me a go to hell hat.
Molly's
that
on
sounds
cloud 9
amazing.
again. She's like, everything is good.
Yeah.
Johnny goes to
We have money.
shower because he's been gone for 3 days, and
Yeah,
and then
'cause
she
he's been
starts, she
traveling for 3
pockets the
days.
money, and then I'm like, are you gonna fucking steal his money? But no, what she's thinking about is I thought she was
Dip.
fully gonna steal it and leave while he was in the shower, but no, she thinks she's looking for places to hide it from potential burglars, because again, scarcity mindset.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the whole idea of like, where do you keep your money under my mattress?
She
kind of
decides
deal.
the
'cause
best
she
place
just
to
doesn't know where
hide
keep
it is the furnace. The literal stove. She goes to
Cool.
bed. Johnny, coming back from his shower, nighttime in the woods, is like, oh fuck, I'm
night
cold.
in
He
Colorado.
lights the fire.
I'm cold.
He gets into bed, and she's like, where did you light? What do you mean you lit a fire?
Yeah, he's like, oh, my bum's all toasty now. And she's like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, I was just warming it at the fire. And she's
I
"What?"
literally, Grace, I cut fast forwarded through the following sequence because it is just her running, panicking, trying to get the money. The money is all burnt. She freaks out, and he goes, "It's only money."
She fully panics and thinks that he's gonna hit
$30,000
because she burnt $30,000.
No, excuse me, $300,000.
300. Sorry, god damn it. And so he grabs her to stop her from panicking and is like, "Listen, I've never cared about money. This isn't. Whatever, like I'll go get more." And like she's still panicking and like crying, and so he's like, "Fine, I'll go find another silver mine," and like walks out the door, and she runs after him being like, "No, don't." And so he like throws his pickaxe over his shoulder, like kisses her, and then they turn around and that pickaxe has hit a place in the mountain and silver literally rains out of the mountain.
This whole scene
insane.
Where she wails like, "We'll never get to Denver now," and he's like, "Okay, fine. Like, I will literally go. I'm like really good at finding claims in like ore." And she's like, "Wait, don't go.
I'll go find more. I'm really good at this."
Fucking want. Cut to Pennsylvania Avenue, where there is a sightseeing looky-loo tour going by. That is, and the announcer goes, "And the newest mansion on Pennsylvania Avenue belongs to Mr. and Mrs. J.J. Brown. The mine they found has already raked in $10 million. The Titanic has sunk." Like, it's just...
Yeah, big energy. Same energy. Yes. But so they're there, and they are bored out of their goddamn
They're bored out of their
minds,
noggins.
and they're very rich. Bored, idle, and wealthy. And it's because no one in the neighborhood will really talk to them. They are very much the nouveau riche kind of deal. And they, in an effort to try and like make friends, they invite their banker to come to their house to give them like petty cash. And this man is our waiter. This man is just trying to do his job. He shows up and he's like, "Here's the money you requested." And they're like, "Sit down, have some tea." He's like, "I have to go back to the bank. I have work.
Job.
I can't just..." They're like, "Oh, stop by any time." He's like, "I have to go." Like, it was so silly. But as he's leaving, they see like these caterers arriving at the house right next to them. They're like, "What's going on?" He was like, "Oh, that's Mrs. whatever her face, Mick something.
Gladys McGraw is the name of their neighbor.
McGraw, that's who it is. She throws a party every year when her roses bloom, and that's what's going on." And
because
like,
rich people will throw parties
invited
for literally anything.
For any reason. Yeah, so they were not invited to this party.
Very intentionally snubbed. Cut to the party. We get to meet Gladys McGraw, who is their neighbor. We also meet Monsignor something or other, like a local
parish parishioner.
Hang on, wait, where is it?
Priest,
I literally just wrote Monsignor.
Church
yeah,
person.
deacon, whatever.
Deacon.
And it is just like so classic, stiff upper lip, like very polite, somber compliments. And the social elite are talking about the Browns, and they're like, they're a terrible influence on the neighborhood. They overpay their servants.
God,
no one has gone to visit them.
I know, and like, God, have you seen their redecorations? It's so gauche.
And then cut to the Browns sneaking into the party through the hedges,
bursting through the bushes. It was amazing.
What did the lion witch in the wardrobe?
And so they. Yeah, honestly, they burst through the hedges and they were like, "We were just walking and saw the lights on. We thought we'd stop by and say hi," after bursting through these bushes. Insane.
And
insane.
Whether Molly
Molly is very loud.
She's so loud. She also, I don't know if she has the awareness that she's being rude or she doesn't, but regardless, she just doesn't care. She goes right up to Gladys. She introduces herself. She introduces her husband. Gladys introduces them to the Monsignor, and they... once upon meeting him, openly, like, and by openly I mean just like right then and there, like, "Oh, you have a fund going on, right? Here's $5,000 for your fund.
Yeah,
husband, match it. In fact, double it." And the fact that they're talking so publicly and openly about money is very, very shocking. And it's not how it's done.
Shocking.
Well,
and she turns to Gladys and she was like, "Gladys, how much have you given to this?" And she's like, "I have not yet made my contribution. Time for dinner." And like everyone gets pulled into the dining room, but they're not invited in.
There's
and they're
no
like,
more
"Sorry,
seats at the
there's
table."
no space." And there's like obviously space at the table, but the doors are shut.
And Johnny's like, "All right, let's go. I don't want to be here. This is terrible." And Molly says like, "Well, no, I want to see like what they're eating for dinner.
Look how glamorous they are."
Johnny says they have we gotta, like, I want to get out of here. I am not having a good time in Denver. We can have more fun in Leadville on accident than we could have here on purpose.
Yeah,
they
on
go
purpose.
home.
Yeah, for sure.
They eat with Pa, who has moved in with them, and they get a knock at the window, and it's their neighbor. And as she introduces herself, she's actually Gladys McGraw's mother, Buttercup Grogan. And she said, and they ask her, like, how was the party? And she goes, I didn't go. I'm never invited to my daughter's party. She keeps me locked upstairs.
Yeah, because she's like a thick Irish accent, and she's very much in the same range as Pa of just like, I just want a beer and some stew. Like, she is
humble.
She's not, her daughter is wealthy. She is not necessarily wealthy. And she asks Molly what she's going to do to get back at the snub that Gladys did. Like, what are you going to do about it? And kind of pushes them into throwing their own party.
A bigger and even grander party than the McGraws.
Yeah, with more music and louder and all of that. And they cut to the party, and not a single person has showed up. The Buttercup is there, and the Monsignor is there, but no one else shows up.
And Monsignor is like, can I give you some advice to Molly? And Johnny's like, we don't need any advice, this is terrible. And Molly's like, no, I want to hear what the Monsignor has to say. And he goes, this isn't, here in Denver isn't old society like it is in New York or somewhere where like we have like the population, specifically in the Americas, New York, but even more so in Europe, where the America is not only so young, but the West is so young that the high society here is not even one generation from being absolutely as like covered wagons coming out here. You being wealthy reminds them that they themselves are not that far off from their own humble beginnings, and it makes them very uncomfortable. I suggest that you take a trip to Europe, get sophisticated, get some sophistication, learn about art, learn about music, take a break from the society that is not welcoming you. And Johnny says, I don't want to do that. I want to go back to Leadville. And Molly says, fuck that. I'm never going back. I'm only going forwards. And Johnny's like, no, I don't want to do it. And she sings, I'll never say no to you. And he's like, fuck, you're right. I love you. We're going to go to Europe.
Fine. Yeah.
So
they
dancing.
go off. They do like a big dance around their empty ballroom, which cuts to them dancing at various locations around Europe.
It's a very King and I waltz.
Like around Buckingham Palace. Yeah. It's a 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3.
They go to museums and they take French classes and other languages and piano and painting lessons and get exposed to all this culture.
Molly takes up French. Yeah, and Molly takes up French pretty well, and Johnny's very much struggling. So that's also part of this.
Yes, Molly is thriving,
but
and Johnny is getting weary of this. But they make friends. They meet up. They get a prince and they get a duchess, and the French. They ultimately settle in Paris at the end of this whirlwind tour. The French love Molly. That we get it's her birthday. She throws herself a little birthday party, a birthday dinner with all of her new friends.
Massive success.
They say, we love you. You're a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
And her new friends treat her at her birthday party by singing Belly Up to the Bar Boys. And she gets...
They're like, we learned this song that we hear from you. And she gets very emotional.
And Johnny is not so there.
Yes. Notably absent from her birthday party. And they ask her, oh, what did Johnny get you? And she said $300,000 and a box of matches, and it is actually very funny.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Yes. One thing also is that her ring that she gets. So that's one thing that we missed back in Denver. So Johnny gives her a true wedding ring that is one that he has had specially made that is covered in like diamonds and gems, but is like in the design of the cigar sleeve that he had originally married her with, which she loves. She thinks it's incredible. But he does tell her, never take it off until I tell you to.
Okay, that's so right. I forgot about that.
Anyway,
she gets home and she and JJ, Johnny, are a little snippy at each other about why he wasn't there. He says that the prince, who is their friend, is soft on her. And Johnny's just fed up with the finery. And he says that he wants to go home, but he lets Molly say what she was going to say first. And she literally says, I think it's time we go home. And he's like, oh, thank God. Yeah. I'm so glad.
Thank God. I'll buy the tickets tomorrow. And she was like, yeah, make sure you buy 10 of them because I've invited all of our royal friends back to Denver to show them Denver. So, and he's like, are you showing like the Royals Denver or are you showing Denver the Royals? Which I thought was like one of the actually good lines of this movie where I was like, oh,
and
yes,
but Johnny,
okay.
regardless of how Johnny feels about the Europeans joining them, he's so happy to go back stateside that we get a reprise of Colorado,
Thrilled.
My Home. Cut to Colorado, back
Yes.
to their mansion on Pennsylvania Avenue. Molly throws a very formal gala. All of her European friends are there, and all
Yes.
of the Denver Society 36 are
Yeah,
there as well. And
Sacred
she is
36.
she is the lady, Sacred 36. She is the lady that she always
Bullshit.
dreamed she'd be. Gladys shows up because Gladys was invited, and Gladys brought a
With a
society
society
writer
writer.
with her.
Oh, this bitch. And they start saying some shit about her house, and John is like in the corner. Johnny is in the corner and overhears them, and they're just like, "Do you think that she couldn't find any more red?" It's big Gryffindor common room energy. This house of just gold and red everywhere. And then like they're sort of snickering at the design choices, and Johnny's like, "She likes red. What do you want?" And they're like, "Oh, blah, blah, blah." So anyway, Molly sets up this huge entrance for all of her royals that are her friends, where she's standing at the bottom of the staircase right next to Gladys and the society writer, and has each person announced as they enter, and she speaks to each of them in their own language. So she speaks French, and she speaks Italian, and she speaks German, and they all compliment
hold on.
her.
Did you watch this with subtitles? How did you watch this? First, how did you watch this? Amazon. Okay, watch it on Amazon. Did you watch it with subtitles? You would know because this took me so out of it. But
There were no subtitles for the
no, there weren't. However, Prince Louis makes his entrance. She speaks in French. She speaks in Italian to someone else. And then when it got to the German guy, it just said foreign language. And I was like,
I didn't catch that. That's so funny.
Not know what German sounds like.
They're like some language, indeterminable, no way to
indeterminate
know.
language. I'm like, that is very clearly German. That is
Yeah.
so funny. Anyway, please continue.
But like one of the guys is just like, "Oh, is that your painting over there on the wall? Incredible, Miss McGraw. Do you paint? No, what a pity.
Miss
And
McGraw,
then,
do
like,
you
comes
speak
down and
French?
it's just like,
Do you speak
yeah,
Italian?
no,
Just like
what a
putting all
pity.
of Molly's new learned talents on display and Miss McGraw's
exactly. It's like,
shortcomings.
"Oh, will you play piano for us? Do you play piano? No, what a pity." And it's brutal. So we get all of this, and then at the very end, after her Royal Highness is announced, then Gladys is as like the final
Buttercup,
nail in this fucking thing. Buttercup is announced and is led down the stairs by this prince, and is just like, "What's up, Gladys?"
You can't lock me upstairs
Incredible.
anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So Molly's like, great, everything is going according to plan. This is all a success. Suddenly, Johnny has a surprise for her. He pulls back the curtain, and like the entire town of Leadville is also there. The band from the town,
All 12 of them.
all of her friends are there, and Molly is very, very excited to see them. She goes up, she embraces them, all of her old
Thrilled.
friends, and Molly has had this grand introduction of all of her friends, so Johnny has his own version of that, where he introduces all of his compatriots from Leadville to the crowd of society folks with the song "He's My Friend." And at first I was like, oh, how's this gonna go? They're very rough and tumble compared to the royalty and the finery in the room.
The royals love it.
Yeah, they love it. The gist of the chorus of the song is that, like, I would do anything for my friend and he would do anything for me. And if you say anything against me, my friend's gonna come and kick your ass. And the royals get their own version where, like, if you say anything against Molly, you're gonna have to deal with me. It's really, really cute.
Yeah.
Molly dances with...
But the Denverites are not
But the Europeans love it. Molly dances around with Johnny, and the dancing leaves behind the
we get a
waltzing.
little, like, shuffle.
We get a good...
Like a shuffle step.
And it
It's so good.
becomes more and more reminiscent of the dance in the pub earlier, where Molly loses her finery and the high kicks return, and she's a lot more graceful than she used to be, but the poise of the dance is lost. McGraw snickers at Molly and makes a comment, and The society and the Europeans aren't going to do anything, but the Leadvillites absolutely come to her defense. And they start a brawl and food fight at Molly's gala.
Spectacular. And the prince is loving it. The prince, like, takes off his jacket and grabs shit to get started. Buttercup throws a chair at one point. The butler, like, takes a full punch to the face. It was wild.
But Molly is horrified.
Yes, very much so.
And the Denverites scatter.
Yes, scatter!
When they're not being beaten to shit.
Yeah. So we cut to the next day. Molly is hanging with the Duchess and the Prince, and they're like, that was a great time. I had a blast. But the society here, I have never seen such disrespectful behavior. Do you know how many invites that we are getting and they don't mention you? Insane. We're going to head back home and you should come with us. And Molly's like looking through the papers looking for the society report on this. It's not in the society pages, it's in the sports pages, which is so funny. That is, it doesn't talk about like slight.
Her finery. It doesn't talk about like the work she put in. It just talks about the fight. It does not paint Molly in a good light.
No.
The Europeans, aka the Duchess and Prince Louis, say, we probably are going to head back to Europe soon. This was fun. Thank you so much for the invitation. You should come back with us. You belong in Europe. These people don't appreciate you.
Yeah.
And they suck.
Yeah.
That being said, the Duchess knows that Louis also has a big crush on Molly. Like, he has eyes for Molly. She clocks this. A sightseeing bus goes by, and it talks about the brawl. Molly shoots a shotgun at them. And JJ and Molly fight. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? You can't just... You're going to make it so much worse. Also...
We need to go back to Leadville.
We need to go back to Leadville. I hate living here. He wants to go back to Leadville. Molly wants to go back to Europe. They are at an impasse. They fight. And then he smacks her. He hits her.
Because... She is like, Europe is where it's like, we can't go backwards, we can only go forward, and if you're too stupid and lazy to learn what's needed to do in Europe, and then he backhands her. And she says, maybe we are mismatched, Mr. Brown. And she goes to Europe, and he goes back to Leadville.
That's when I tapped out of this movie. I was like, absolutely not. From a plot device, hated it.
Nope.
Thought it was lazy. I just
don't hit your partner.
Don't hit your partner.
Don't hit anyone.
Yeah, don't hit anyone. Write better dialogue.
Yeah.
He says no to her at last. He won't go to Europe.
Yeah. Finally.
He then asks the Grand Canyon, what happened to us?
It's important to ask the Grand Canyon, is this that song in The Prince of Egypt where between oh my god, we even have the moment of Molly looking over the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, you're talking about the Let My Canyon. People Go song?
Yeah, exactly.
That movie's so much better than this movie. But you are correct in that there is a split screen of both of them being solo and sad. Moment. How dare you? Furious.
Good. I'm so glad that this movie is mapping perfectly to DreamWorks' The Prince of Egypt.
Anyway, Johnny sings a reprise again of I Could Never Say No to You, but this time he's like, it's too much. I need you to stay away for good.
Yeah.
Molly's in Europe with her prince.
She's not happy, though.
No. She feels lost.
She's at this dinner and everyone's just like, oh, you're the queen of like the international queen, Molly Brown, and she's upset and, kind of plays around with that. And
I think she feels like a fraud.
And she like is making this big scene and ends up running into Gladys at the same restaurant of all the gin joints in all the world. And Gladys, and she turns to Gladys and is like, curtsy. And Gladys just kind of stares at her and she's like, no, I don't suppose you will you? And then ends up walking out of the restaurant with the prince trailing her. We get back to wherever they've been staying. That she's staying with the prince.
And she's gotten a letter.
There's a letter there for her. Yeah.
He says, essentially, what he asked the Grand Canyon. And he says, you know what? You can take the ring off now. And I'm glad that you made a point to call back to when he gave her the ring. He said, you can't take it off until I tell you to. He's telling her to take it off now.
Yeah.
She takes it off.
Brutal.
And Louis sees he like is inspecting it, and he sees an inscription on the inside that Molly never knew was there because she's never taken it off. And it says, always remember two things: I love you and the name of the bank. And she laughs and she bursts into tears and she says, maybe I'm not down yet. And she decides to give her marriage another go and also put other people's feelings above her own.
Give up this European prince who's super into her.
Stay in Europe. Marry the prince.
Mistakes were made. Marry the prince. That prince is hot and he's into you.
Anyway,
this poor prince.
Question. I don't understand the inscription.
Yeah.
I'll remember two things: I love you and the name of the bank. I don't get it.
I think it's because if she had just put that $300,000 in the bank, then it would have been fine. But she burnt the money in the stove instead. So it's just like, please remember to use your.
That's
fucking
dumb.
head.
That could have been better. That could have been better written.
Could have.
I wonder if that's
been
historically.
Just remember, I love you.
Yeah.
No, not at all. The burning of the $300,000 never happened.
Thank God.
It is definitely a rumor. It is a real rumor that was about her that she like was just like, wouldn't that be a great story, and like absolutely spread it herself, but it is not something that happened.
Anyway, cut to Molly returning to the States on a ship crossing the Atlantic, and then I wrote in all caps, "Oh, it's the Titanic!" Because Grace, I fully forgot that was a part of this film. We have I'm grabbing my microphone, 7 minutes left of this film, dear listeners. I forgot. This is a 2-hour movie. We are at 1 hour and 53 minutes until the end, and this is when the Titanic comes in. I forgot.
This is when the Titanic happens.
That was part of this story.
Yeah.
Wild.
And the Titanic has sunk. And she's... and she's in a lifeboat, and people are like, we're gonna die, and we see her like calming people down,
giving
and like making
coats.
sure that people are wrapped up in coats, and like basically taking control of the situation.
She takes
just
charge.
like the ship is down, but I'm not, and she takes charge, and she's like, all right, I'm gonna teach you guys a song just to like keep things off of, like keep their minds, keep morale up, and also as a way to like, if there are any rescue boats coming, if you hear a rousing chorus of belly up to the bar, boys, you might go in that direction. And then we cut back to Denver at her house, and her butler is reading like the responses to her getting
front page
home.
news.
She's like won medals of like, she's like won heroism medals and like all of this stuff.
She was decorated by the British government for her bravery, which is why I was like, oh, it's a British vessel. That makes sense.
Yep.
The society pages are praising her name.
Yep.
Denver's throwing her a parade. She gets off however she gets to Denver, she gets to her house. She's greeted by Pa, Buttercup, everyone from Leadville. Johnny's not there, and she asks if he's there, and they say, no, he's not. But Gladys is there. Gladys comes up and greets her with Buttercup at her side. They're throwing her a welcome back and like congratulations, welcome to society party, fully embracing her now that she's a celebrity. Buttercup leaves, and Molly and Gladys do have a bit of a reconcile where in not so many words, they essentially are like, we've seen each other at our worst. We both could have been nicer. Let's start this friendship off on a fresh foot. Yeah. Different note. They embrace. Molly goes inside the house. There's a lot of flowers and letters, but there's no letters from Johnny. She goes up into the bedroom, and she sees the brass bed from Johnny's cabin in the master bedroom. And we get this like big flashback of essentially this entire movie, her younger days with Johnny when they were in love. And then surprise, surprise, Johnny is there behind the door like a creep. And he holds out his arms to her, and they embrace and make out and reconcile. And that's how this film,
and do a big old 50s kiss, like face smash kiss.
I forgot the Titanic was part of it. I thought it would be more a part of it.
I thought it would be more a part of it. I'm going to be honest. I didn't think that it would be
Grace, I was
until
so mad.
7 minutes from the end.
I was so mad.
I thought that there would be more about...
Anyway.
Anna, what did you think of this movie?
I didn't like this movie.
Yeah.
I could have done without seeing this.
Yeah.
I won't see it again.
Nah.
Like, It was fine. We've seen worse things, but the bar is
Absolutely.
pretty low.
Yeah, when your bar
was a
is
true
in
musical.
old Chicago,
When your bar is night and day. The bar is in hell.
what was our fifth episode that was just so truly chaos?
The black and white children's story
Yeah, yeah.
one? Babes in Toyland.
That's the one. When the bar is Babes in Toyland.
Listen, of the three that we have just listed, Babes in Toyland, In Old Chicago, and Night and Day.
Night and Day.
If I had to rank them from best to worst, I would start with Babes in Toyland. And then I would
Really?
say Night and Day, and then I would say In Old Chicago.
In Old Chicago. In Old Chicago is obviously the bottom. Even though there was that one plot point of him being like, I've married you so you can't testify against me in court, which I thought was chaos. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about.
No, we're talking about how... I'm absolutely keeping that. We're talking about how... So, remind me, are you talking about the stage production at all?
Barely. I'll get into a little
Okay.
bit of it.
The reason I ask, and we can get into this when we get into like singing and stuff, but they cut so many songs from the Broadway production. They only used 5,
Yeah.
and they just reused them.
Yeah.
It was a True Blue musical.
Yes.
I guess what I wanted was, 1, more character development from him, and 2,
Yeah.
her change of heart to not come within the last 5 minutes of this film.
Yeah. And I'll talk about what really happened.
I know that life does not imitate art because I know you're going to talk about the original Molly Brown, and that this film and the stage production are not to take liberties with this narrative. How did you feel about this film?
It wasn't great. I didn't. Yeah. I wouldn't. It's not my least favorite. It's not in the top half, of movies that we've watched. It was fine. And I love Debbie Reynolds, and she got an Oscar nomination for this. Like, what the hell? So yeah, it wasn't good. I didn't enjoy it. The beginning of it threw me off. The fucking cradle in the river, the horrible entrance into the first song, where she's just yelling and there's no subtlety. And like, I know that this character isn't supposed to have subtlety until later, but like, your characters can't just be one note. Like, people are multifaceted, and this very much felt like this one specific thing is true about this character, and I'm just gonna hit that repeatedly.
Yeah, I just wasn't crazy about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I can say I've seen it.
Yeah,
it is a film.
This is a film. This is a film.
Not only is it a film, it is a musical.
It is a musical. So I stand by it.
It's got that going for it. All right, shall we do a little dramaturgy report?
Yes.
Dramaturgy report. This was directed by Charles Powell Walters, who is an American Hollywood director and choreographer. He is best known for his work on MGM musicals and comedies from the 40s to the 60s. He started out as a performer. He was on Broadway as a dancer, and he also choreographed for Broadway. He entered Hollywood when he got contracted by MGM to be a dance director, and we saw his dances in Meet Me in St. Louis.
Ooh, nice.
His first credited feature directorial film was the musical Good News with June Allison and Peter Lawford. He then did Easter Parade with Fred Astaire and Judy Garland. He also directed Astaire and Ginger Rogers in The Barclays of Broadway, which is a huge hit for the studio. I'm sure we will do it at some point. And that really put him on the map. And he just worked. He worked consistently through the 40s, through the 50s. His last film was for Columbia in 1966. It was also the last film of Cary Grant. And he would then continue to work in television for another decade before he passed away in 1982. The cinematographer for this film was Daniel Pfapp, who was an American cinematographer. He spent the bulk of his career at Paramount, like from 1923 to 1959. So like this came after that, but like that was where like the bulk of his career was, from like 23 to 59, Paramount. Yeah. He worked his way up from assistant to a DP, After he left Paramount,
Hell yeah.
he would go on to be nominated for films such as Desire Under the Elms in 58, Five Penny, like 2 years in a row for an Oscar, Five Pennies in 1959, in 61, 1, 2, 3, 64, this, and
Hell yeah.
2 more. He also, in 1961, was the DP for West Side Story. So we've seen him before, and he won an Oscar for that.
Love that. Hell
Yeah.
yes. All right. The writer of this screenplay was Helen Deutsch.
We love a female
And-
screenwriter,
Absolutely.
particularly in 64.
Yep. So she was a screenwriter, a journalist, songwriter. She began in journalism and then moved to Hollywood. Her first screenplay was in 1944, which was The Seventh Cross. She adapted Enid Bagnall's novel National Velvet into a screenplay, and that was quite a famous film starring Elizabeth Taylor. She spent a huge part of her career working for MGM, and she wrote, like, her biggest ones were King Solomon's Mines, Plymouth Adventure, Flame in the Flesh, Glass Slipper, Forever Darling, and then Unsinkable Molly Brown. And her last screenplay was for 20th Century Fox, Valley of the Dolls in 1967. Yeah. Now, this was a stage musical before it was a film. So The Unsinkable Molly Brown was a 1960 musical with music and lyrics by Meredith Willson and a book by Richard Morris.
So 4 years prior.
Yes. The plot is a fictionalized account of the life of Margaret Brown, who survived the sinking of the Titanic, and her wealthy miner husband. So I will end up going into the differences in her life.
I know you said miner like in a mine.
ER, not OR, not ER.
Like
ER,
OR,
not OR.
like he was a minor character in her life, which, I mean...
The original Broadway production opened at Winter Garden Theater and ran for 1 preview and 532 performances. So it was about 2 years that it went.
Only 1 preview?
Yeah, that was what they added that in, and I was like, wild. You had 1 preview, and they were like, good.
This is good.
No notes.
Although, I mean, that was back in the 60s. I wonder how
many previews
like
they normally
structured it was what was expected, what was normal.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll talk a little bit about, so the music and lyrics. Robert Reiniger, Meredith Willson was an American flutist, composer, conductor, musical arranger, bandleader, playwright, and writer. He is the one who wrote the music for this, and we will see him again because he wrote the music and lyrics for The Music Man.
Oh, I was gonna say Meredith Willson sounds really familiar. Yeah.
Yes. And he wrote the song It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas. He was nominated twice for Academy Awards for film scores, so we will absolutely be seeing him again. Now, in terms of actors and casting, there were a couple of people that they were looking at for these 2 lead roles. Originally, they cast Robert Goulet as Johnny Brown, which...
I want you to know, I was thinking about Robert Goulet last night because I was thinking of that line in the chorus line where they're like, Bob Goulet out, Steve McQueen
Robert
in.
Goulet.
And I've never thought of him as Bob, but they would have called him Bob Goulet, and that's wild to me. Anyway,
Wild.
as you were.
He was, so Robert Goulet was under contract. Sorry,
Bob
Goulet
was under contract. We're doing great here.
It's this massive glass of wine that's really making the difference. Was under contract to Columbia Records, which meant that he wasn't able to appear on an official soundtrack for MGM. So he ended up being replaced by the guy who's in it, who was in the original Broadway production. They also were looking at a couple of other guys for this, but originally they wanted Shirley MacLaine for the lead role of this. But Hal B. Wallace would not let MGM borrow Shirley MacLaine, and so they went to a couple of other people: Judy Garland, Doris Day, Carol Burnett, Mitzi Gaynor, Shirley Jones, but eventually Debbie Reynolds. Like, at first, Debbie Reynolds, they were like, ooh, maybe you should decline this because Shirley MacLaine maybe, but then things did not end up working out with Shirley MacLaine, so they ended up continuing with Debbie Reynolds. I'm going to talk a little bit about the actual person that this movie is about. So obviously there were massive liberties taken with this, most notably that she and JJ never got back together. They separated in 1909. They remained friends, but they were
was no big
never
reconciliation.
returned to each other once they decided to split. Yes. She was also not fully a social outcast like she's sort of depicted in this movie. She also had kids.
Yeah.
So they never talk about their kids, but they had a son and a daughter. She was a huge political activist, so I'll go into sort of her life story. So she was born, supposedly because at this time there wasn't a lot of records about this, in July in 1867 in Missouri. And she was known as Maggie. She was known as Maggie. She was actually not known as Molly until after her death.
Really?
That was a posthumous name that was given to her.
Why?
Because someone decided that
Maggie Brown.
Molly Brown sounded better than Maggie Brown.
All right.
So anyway, she attended school while her father worked. There's that whole river thing. No. So she attended school, and her father worked as a laborer. And there was a large neighborhood. They were a very tight-knit Irish Catholic community. At 18, she moved to Leadville, Colorado with her siblings, and that was where she met James Joseph Brown, JJ, who is a self-educated man. He was not rich, and she married him for love. After his death, she was quoted as saying, "I wanted a rich man, but I loved Jim Brown. I thought about how I wanted comfort for my father and how I had determined to stay single until a man presented himself who could give to the tired older man the things I longed for him. Jim was poor, as we were, and had no better chance. I struggled hard with myself in those days. I loved Jim, but he was poor. Finally, I decided that I'd be better off with a poor man who I loved than a wealthy one whose money had attracted me. So I married Jim Brown." So very different to how the movie portrays her, where she very much marries him because she loves him, as opposed to the whole thing of like, she's really not only happy until he shows up with $300,000.
Yeah.
They had 2 kids, Lawrence, known as Larry, and Catherine, somehow known as Helen. And they also raised 3 of their nieces, Grace, Florence, and Helen. 2 Helens. Don't know why they did that. Anyway, they ended up acquiring great wealth in 1893 when JJ's mining efforts ended up like literally hitting gold. They hit a substantial ore seam at the Little Johnny mine. In 1894, they bought a $30,000 Victorian mansion in Denver, now known as the Molly Brown House. She became a charter member of the Denver Women's Club, whose mission was the improvement of women's lives by continuing education and philanthropy. She became immersed in the arts and fluent in French, German, Italian, and Russian. She lobbied for women's rights to vote. JJ was really not interested in the social aspect of anything, and because of their differing priorities, they ended up drifting apart. So after being married for 23 years, they privately signed a separation agreement in 1909, and she received a $700 monthly allowance, which is the equivalent to $23,000 a month now, to continue her travels and political work. She spent the first bit of 1912 in Paris visiting her daughter, and then she received word from Denver that her eldest grandchild was ill, and that was when she booked an immediate passage back to New York on the Titanic. Yes. Her daughter was supposed to accompany her, but she ended up staying in Paris because she was studying at the Sorbonne. And so she boarded the Titanic as a first-class passenger and sailed for New York City, and it sunk. And she was responsible for attempting to save a lot of people's lives and survived and got all of these accolades for this. In 1914, 6 years before the 19th Amendment granted women the right to vote, she ran for the U.S. Senate seat. She actually ran for Senate twice, which was very cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah, she ended her campaign to serve abroad as the director of the American Committee for Devastated France during World War I. So she was huge in the process of revitalizing Europe after World War I. Also in 1914, she contributed to miners and their families during the 1914 Ludlow coal mine disaster, and she helped organize International Women's Rights Conference that year, which was held in Newport, Rhode Island. JJ ended up passing in 1922. Margaret told newspapers that although she met royalty and other great people around the world, quote, "I've never met a finer, bigger, more worthwhile man than JJ Brown." There was a bit of a drama with his estate afterwards. He had a massive estate and stock holdings. And it wasn't super clear to the Browns and their lawyers how much was left in the estate. Prior to his death, he had transferred a large amount of money to his children. And so they were unaware about how much money Margaret had in this, but they weren't really pleased with how much she was giving to charity. So they ended up having this huge court fight for like 6 years to settle the estate.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But in the 1920s, she focused her energies on personal passions, especially theater, and she ended up passing on October 26th, 1932 at the age of 65 in New York. Was later revealed in an autopsy that she had a brain tumor, and she was buried next to JJ in St. Bridget's Cemetery in Westbury, New York. So that was who she was. He
was buried in New York? Interesting.
He was buried in New York. I know.
Just from watching this movie, I would have told you he was buried in, like, the hills of Colorado.
His body in the river. Just chuck him in the river. He'll be happier there.
There's bodies in their hills.
Yeah.
Well, she had a good long life.
Yeah, absolutely. And she definitely had an impact. Yeah, she was not one to go quietly.
She did not go quiet into that good night.
No. Kicking and screaming.
Kicking and screaming.
So that's who that is.
Oh. I don't have a lot in terms of reviews and reception. So reviews were pretty consistent in that it just was a lot of style over substance. It sounded good. There was not a lot going on. It's very over-stylized. However, it was nominated for a bunch of awards, including Debbie Reynolds got a Best Actress nomination at the Oscars, and Daniel Pfaff was nominated for Best Cinematography. In terms of revenue, it did set an opening week record at Radio City Music Hall. Again, this is 64. It grossed over $200,000 and became the #1 film in the U.S. that week, and it would be the highest... It set the record for the highest grossing film at the theater at the time with a 10-week gross of $2 million. I don't have an update on what broke that record. Okay. Singing and dancing.
Cool. So what's his face?
JJ.
Good. JJ had a big, lovely baritone.
Yeah.
And I know that she was putting on an affect because I know that Debbie Reynolds can sing.
Yeah, he had a great baritone. The only other people that really sang was Debbie Reynolds, who could carry a tune, but she was so stylized that it wasn't really enjoyable.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say. That, like, I know that she can sing because we've seen her in Singing in the Rain, and she is good. And so this was just, I just feel like it didn't show her off at all.
There was fun group dancing. I love me a prostitute dance battle.
I love a prostitute dance battle. Like, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I love a prostitute dance battle.
I'll say it again. Love a prostitute dance battle. Shall we do gripes, giggles, moments of joy?
Yeah. There were a few giggles of just, like, one-liners. Honestly, the thing that both exasperated me the most and made me laugh was him chucking the pickaxe behind him and then, like, gold raining out of the mountain. It was so ridiculous. My
gripe is that I could never really get a sense of how big and how aware Molly was of how big she was being. So for specifically... When they enter via hedge for that McGraw party, it wasn't clear whether they were like. You have to know that's weird.
I had a surely not moment. I had a full
Did you?
surely not
moment. What was your surely not moment?
It was her putting the money in the fireplace and then going to bed without telling her husband. Like, she was looking around and then like she looks at the furnace and I said, surely not.
Surely not.
And she chucks it in there and then covers it with shrapnel, and I'm just like, ma'am, and then like pats herself on the back and goes to bed. Surely not. This should should be a new category. Gripes, giggles, moments of joy, and surely not.
Yeah, I don't know if I have any giggles.
I don't really have any moments of joy.
I think the Duchess is my moment of joy. I just really liked her as a character. She didn't
do
do
like
a lot.
The Duchess. The repeated moments of, what a pity, was very, very, that was fun. Yeah, I don't know, maybe the food fight was fun. I enjoyed that.
I just didn't care by that point. Anyway,
yeah.
Do you have any fun facts and homework?
I have 2. First one is about just what I've already mentioned. So Margaret Brown was never called Molly. She was called Maggie or Mrs. Brown. It was changed for the Broadway musical. So they changed the name to Molly Brown because Meredith Willson thought Molly sounded better than Maggie. Yeah, because I think in the newspaper she was known as the Unsinkable Mrs. Brown.
Yes.
And then the musical turned it into Molly
called
Brown.
Maggie or Mrs. Brown. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other one was just that she was very much an accidental passenger on the Titanic because her infant grandson was very, very ill, and so she was rushing home to look after that. And so it was very much like a not intended to be on that ship, accidentally was here.
I don't know if this is true, but the fun fact that I have, which is that this is Debbie Reynolds' only Oscar-nominated performance. I'm going to look that up really quickly. That's wild to me.
Crazy.
Debbie Reynolds.
Crazy.
Yep. Unsinkable Molly Brown was her only Academy Award nomination. That is wild.
I don't have any homework.
No homework this time. And I'm okay with that.
All right, y'all. Take the weekend off. No homework this time.
Watch something else. This was fine.
Don't watch this movie. Watch something else. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fine. It's not making me lose any. I'm not losing any sleep over it. But this has been better. Anyway, that brings us to...
Yeah, you passed.
No, I'm not angry. And that is a very important distinction because there have been films where Grace and I have both been furious.
I'm not angry at it.
At the end.
Crybaby. I was incandescent with rage.
Incandescent? You were glowing?
Oh, yeah. I was glowing with rage.
All right.
Just an internal fire, just
we're gonna talk about it later. But if you are still here, thank you for tuning in to 5678, a movie musical podcast. We love doing this. I have been Anna.
I am still Grace.
Take care of yourselves and others. We will see you on the next one. Our next one is our Halloween episode.
Ooh.
Spooky.
Spooky.
Take care of yourselves and others. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
5, 6, 7, 8.
There's no business like show business, like no business I know.